identifying a cooperating witness, bringing forth rebuttal testimony from those who learn about it through the press. It came up before. Oh, wow. Okay. So, just to further explain, there's a thinly veiled attempt of saying we haven't gone for our defense yet. And part of our strategy is to elicit other witnesses that could corroborate or dispute what the government witness is saying. So we might, if we're going to talk about an event, might be a party. We might have to say it was a Jamie Foxx party. It was a, I don't know, whoever party, but we got to say that person's name that happened then, that maybe someone's like, oh, I was there. I seen that shit. Nah. It ain't happened like how she said. So that's what they're kind of going at, all right? Judge, 56 minutes ago. So they spent most of the morning arguing about this. All rise. He said, jurors, I apologize. It took long. We did things to save you some time. Jane, you're still under oath. Proceed. Tenny says, good morning. Let's look at your message where you said, I feel as your lover, I wanted to please you. I pushed through. Garagos continues, because she's showing her message. What did you really, so what you really wanted was just to cuddle with Mr. Combs, right? Jane says, nah, I just wanted my intimate time. Garagos says, tell me about the mobile TV you got him. Jane says it was the LG, cordless, that he could move it around. Garagos says, so it was a TV he could see y'all movies on, right? She said, yeah. Garagos says, after the Cassie lawsuit went public, how were things? Jane says, I came to find out that another woman had the same experiences I had. I put out that energy on him, and he was already down. So it was resentment. Everything was hard. It was a hard month? She says, yes. Let's play this voice note. Diddy says, I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I don't want to make anyone feel like this. Let's end this cycle so you don't feel like I wasted your life. Now, remember, they were just arguing about this before the jurors came in. They don't want to put anything past December because they felt Diddy was, cognizant, aware of what's going to happen, and he's now giving very clear options. Hey, I don't want to do nothing that make you feel like you ain't with it. You could go, stop fucking with me, blah, blah, blah. Now, we don't know what time this is, but Diddy is telling her, hey, if you feel unhappy, I don't want to be in a relationship like that. If you feel like you're, chicks will tell you some dumb shit. Oh, yeah, no, I've been feeling this, I've been feeling that. All right, hold on. If I make you feel like that, leave. Hit the door. Let's end it. Garagos says, are there any more messages of Diddy telling you, let's end this shit? She says, yes. Garagos says, did Sean often say to you, I don't do problems. I'm a solutions person. Let's get to the solutions. She says, yes. Garagos says, you wrote, I tolerated, and I took a lot. Boy, did she take a lot of semen. In those rooms, please don't discredit me. What did he write? Didn't he write, I've never discredited you? She says, yeah. Garagos says, you wrote you wanted $100,000. Bumbleclot. For each wasted time, I guess. And then you wanted more. You wanted $450,000. Chat, this bitch was extorting. She knew, because she was in his inner circle at the time, Diddy is under. Diddy. Somebody said, mom's update, she been on any trips? My mom just got eye surgery. She recovered. I'm about to bring her on a trip. She got to come with me. Got to keep mom close. I don't know if you're talking about my mom. You got to be talking about my mom. Yeah. Mama Akademiks is good, okay? Love her, with my last. Okay. Don't bring my mama when we talking about this bullshit. Come on, dog. Wait till the intermission. Okay. So it looks like she starts hitting Diddy because she know Diddy's getting squeezed. Also, here's the thing, too. Didn't I tell y'all, Young Miami fucked up the whole shit. By the way, Fruit Jams. Fruit Jams. I see you, my boy. My boy Fruit Jams, he been holding it down. I can't even lie to you. Let me see if I can find a clip. Chat, I need y'all to support this page. Grand's already on board with him. Y'all support my nigga. I said this a while ago. I told y'all. Somebody sent this to me today. And they said, Ak, you predicted this a while ago. And now everybody's realizing this came true. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find it. Give me a second. I'm going to find it. I know 50 posted. We're going to get to it. I know 50 posted. Let me just figure out what date this was. Hold on. It's about this time. Hold on. This is before all the testimony that Jane gave. That's before all the testimony that Jane gave. Y'all tell me if I predicted this. I sounded crazy when some of y'all was like, oh no, you just beefing with Young Miami. No, nigga. We got to learn how to. Is this about a week ago? No. Oh, I went too far. Pause. Went too far. Here we go. Shout out to Fruit Jams, though. Where we at with it? The 25th? No. It's not that far down. Right here. Listen to this, chat. This is before Daphne Joy said any of this shit. Didn't I call it? Diddy introduced Cassie and them to drugs. A chick like Carisha, she been off that too. Wait, hold on. No, that's not the one. No, this is right here.
Young Miami. First of all, I'm not blaming nobody for Diddy's actions. If he's guilty of these things, he's guilty of these things. But I just want to say, I think you dealing with Diddy was the ultimate whistleblower. You fucked up his whole shit. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because it could be a good thing if he's guilty. When Diddy started dealing with you, because you a chick that it looked like you one of them feisty chicks, and Diddy couldn't handle you like he handled Cassie, Gina, Kim Porter, the rest of them. The other women who've been through it, they took note and they felt away. They saw you back talk. They saw you do all the things that Diddy used to slap them square in the mouth for.
I'm lying?
They saw all the things that what Diddy used to punish them for, you did, and he didn't bat an eye. They didn't like that shit. Then they seen him have a kid with another woman. And it emboldened them to not only file lawsuits, but it emboldened them to speak to the police. So to keep it real, if y'all wondering why Diddy in jail, y'all could thank Carisha. I don't know if she thinks about it like this, but she's the ultimate whistleblower. She's the one that showed people that Diddy only treat whoever he feels he could treat like that. Because when he get a...
Didn't I tell you? Diddy fucked up his whole situation by trying to get a city girl. You know what? Yo, your archetype build in 2K is a chick that look like she like Asian. She don't got too much of a fat ass, but she's an eater. That's your build. Why you go try to chase a city girl who talk back, who ratchet, who like she'll say some shit to get in your feelings, and she don't give a fuck about going on Instagram to embarrass you and her. That's how Diddy fucked it up. I told y'all this, chat. Told y'all.
The bitch who ain't going for it. Like Carisha wasn't going. Like you could tell he couldn't give her no fucking black eye. Your Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? Yo, Young Miami.
Told y'all. So now we're seeing it manifesting. When there's blood in the water, the sharks come. Jane Doe pops up. And at first she's like, nah, she's comforting him. She was there. Sometimes your biggest op be in your bed. One in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes your biggest op you laying with. It's crazy. It's crazy. She was there when Cassie filed, not when Cassie filed a lawsuit, when the video came out of the beating. She's peeping game. She read the Cassie lawsuit. She said she threw up. She felt sick to her stomach. She still ain't leave. She turned to the biggest op. You know what she did? Wait. He paid this bitch out $30 million? The number that everyone would say was $30 million. You know what she did over time? All right, I'm tapping his pockets. I'm tapping his pockets because I could see what that bitch was dealing with. If she got 30, I shouldn't even have to sue. He should want to throw me the back. Remember, she went from being a $10,000 a month bitch. Now she's asking for hundreds of thousands. She's asking for hundreds of thousands, chat. She texts him, I need 100 bands for each wasted, whatever. I don't know what that means. And then I need more than 450,000. He said, you wrote that, right? She said, yeah. Garrigo says, and you say you were thinking of hurting yourself. And he said, he said, don't, because he cared, right? She said, I don't know about if he cared. I don't know if he cared. Garrigo says, you said you ain't had no friends at the time. Objection. Garrigo says, I can rephrase. You said you talked about your feelings with Sean because you didn't have other people. Jane says, yeah. Garrigo says, was Sean still paying your rent? Jane says, yes. Garrigo says, but what about that $9,000 from Bear? You had another nigga. Bear. Bear's a pseudonym, by the way. You claim you had known him for your modeling days. Remember the link to Peter Nygaard? She was a model. Peter Nygaard abused many models. She said yes. Garrigo says, did you ever have to do no work for that $9,000 you got? She said no. Tricks. It's tricks. I blame Lil Baby and Gunna for introducing tricking to hip hop. I ain't gonna lie to you. They've made it so cool to trick, and the idea of tricking, I'll get you the biggest Chanel in the store if you want. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, nigga? We're not doing that. Not me. Fuck. I'm gonna buy you some titties. What? For other niggas? Hell nah. But Lil Baby and Gunna, the two biggest tricks in hip hop ever. I blame them niggas for making tricking so popular. Houston been tricking, you know? It's tricks, pimps, and hoes over there. Memphis too. But for it to be worldwide, I blame Gunna and Lil Baby. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. They said the rapper you mentioned, he was close with 50. No, not 50. Oh, shit. Freudian slip. The rapper you mentioned, he was close to Mr. Combs. She said yes. They play a video. They said this rapper, they will record together, right? And he's also an icon in the music industry, right? She said yes. But you went to the birthday party with the rapper wife or his girlfriend. Did you know that sex worker traveled with them? She said yes. Garrigo says, and Mr. Combs knew too, right? Yes. Garrigo says, when Anton was long dicking that woman, how many people are in the room? 7 or 8. Chat, I've been telling y'all this. There's another part of the industry where these freakazoid niggas just watch sex like it's performative art. Let's drink some mimosas. Let's drink some whatever and watch these two fuck all night. This is what this trial is telling me. I didn't know shit like this exists. 7 people just watching somebody fuck. That's crazy. Just sip your espresso martini while she's fucking getting throated. We don't know what rapper it is yet. Garrigo says, did you flash your breasts to the room? And who asked you to? She said, yes, I did. It was a moment. Chat, this is a underground freak-off, freakazoid party that, I'm going to be honest with you, y'all claim I'm in the industry. I never knew this existed. Vlad, this is where you come in. You got to ask every rapper, have you been to some shit like this? 8 people in the room watching 2 people fuck and people flashing? What's going on here? I've never heard some shit like this. So she's in a fuck party watching 2 people have sex. One's a sex worker. We don't know who the woman is. And it's so sexual in nature that she even flashes her titties to the room. We don't know if everybody else is masturbating. We don't know what's going on. So who asked you to? She said it was just a moment. He said, what did a rapper look like? Diddy's team is trying to get to the rapper. Ja, is that you? Meek, is this you? French, it better not be you. Who is this? Who is this rapper? Now they did say this is an icon. This is an icon. Let's go back up to make sure I'm not. This rapper, they would record together. So somebody, let's figure out what rapper this is. I can't get past this. What type of the freaky niggas in the game like this? This rapper will record with Diddy. He's also an icon. That erases 50 Cent. That's not 50. Who is this rapper? Kanye, I got to text you. Is it you, brother? Is it you? I think it's Ye. I can't even lie to you. I got to be honest. I think it's Ye. Holy fuck. I think it might be Ye. Chat. It's either Ye or J. It's Ye or J. It's Ye or J. It's Ye or J. Somebody says Rose? All right. Let's keep it going. You flash your breast to the room. Who asked you to do it? She said it was just a moment. What did the rapper say to you? He said he always wanted to fuck me. It's a freaky ass nigga right here. Who's the rapper, chat? Who's the rapper? Start a poll. We got a couple options. Start a poll. Meek Mill. French Montana. It don't seem like 50, but let's say 50 Cent. Kanye West. DJ Khaled. And who else? Rick Ross. Rick Ross. Or Jay-Z. Put Jay-Z up in there too. We gotta put Jay-Z up in there. How did you bring up Cabral, aka Sly? They ask if I knew anyone in the lifestyle. Chat, we just found Pandora's box. There's underground sex parties happening in the industry. I guess they're saying, yo, this was fun. This is fun. Yo, y'all know anybody who's down with this? I could keep this shit quiet. Y'all know anybody like it? She says, you ever heard about my boy Cabral? His name's Sly. I said yes. At the time, I thought Cabral was a safe and confidential person. Now, chat, they're exposing this woman to be a constant freak-off attender. She didn't only freak off with Diddy. She's freaked off with multiple other people in the industry. This was just a freak. Tenny's exposing her. Tenny's exposing her. This ain't the first time she sold that box. Won't be the last. What wasn't the first time she sold the box, will not be the last. Can't blame it on Diddy. She's an habitual box seller. Chat, think about it. Gargo says that was for the rapper and his partner, huh? Say, yeah. Gargo says, how did they know to ask you? Jane said maybe they picked up the energy or heard that Sean and I were into that type of lifestyle. Okay. Chat. Drink some more tea. Gotta make sure I keep the voice. It's a good place. It's a good place So go to 50 Cent's Instagram. Here we go. Oh, no.
It's a rare condition this day and age to demand a freak off with so much rage. A stranger's addiction that you'll ever find. Some people say that he's losing his mind.
Oh, no. Yo, this is how you know 50 is hilarious. 50, like, if I'm 50, I'll be mad. I'd be mad y'all keep calling this woman my baby mama. Call her by her government name. I don't know that bitch. I'm going to goddamn custody court or family court. Let me download this. I got to post it to the gram. Nah, this is good. This is the Freak Off theme song. Let's keep it going.
Well, then there must be some magic juice inside the Punisher. 'Cause all I see is
Wait, J-Lo? No fucking way. Is that J-Lo?
the chocolate thing.
Oh, 50 is in this too. Look, missing. Jay-Z.
Man, they're busting over everything.
Bieber in there too? Oh, nah, this is crazy. This is one of them ones. This one of them ones still. Let me caption it. Why 50 posts this trailer?
Days gone by. It's the big
Oh my God, the Punisher up in this bitch.
break of the century.
Gotta disinfect after the freak off. That's Gina Hugh right here. Damn. Damn. So chat. My memory is failing me. But that's why I got y'all. We the best detectives in the world. We the best detectives in the world. Now, here we go. Hold on. What year was it? I'm going to search these terms. Was Kanye West, I think it's Kanye, I ain't gonna lie to you. Was Kanye West in Las Vegas? Do y'all remember what time it was, chat? Like, what time was it? Chat, what time? I forgot. We got to go back to yesterday's date. I think it's Ye. I'm being honest with you. And I love Ye. What date was this? What date was this, chat? What date was this? Remember we were looking at who was in Vegas at that time? Chat, I only ordered this Soul Fruits because they said when you're getting ready for the freak off, you know, there's a lot of semen in there. They say you got to make your shit taste good. Got to eat some pineapples. I'm trolling, but I'm serious. I'm trolling, actually. I'm trolling. I wonder what the pre-freak off diet was. What was the pre-freak off diet? Gotta ask Cassie that, huh? Or maybe the sex worker, right? Run it back. I posted to my page now. Oh, I ain't post yet. Let's get it off 50's page. Oh, the Frosted Flakes. Yeah, you're right.
It's a rare condition this day and age to demand a freak off with so much rage.
Oh, the baby oil.
A stranger's addiction that you'll ever find. Some people say that he's losing his mind.
Damn, with 3 basketball players. Yo, chat, this is the all-star freak off. Oh, my God. Nah, this is good. This is the all-star freak-off chat. This is the all-star freak-off. All-stars. Holy.
Well, then there must be some magic
Kid Cudi with a burning car.
juice inside the Punisher.
J-Lo, we still waiting for you, girl.
'Cause all I see is a chocolate thing.
50 like, I don't know nothing about this shit.
Man,
It said, missing Jay-Z, call police.
they're busting over
It's a man milk busted on what?
everything.
Bieber.
Days gone by.
Why you look like Urkel?
It's the biggest break of the century.
Executive producer, Kanye West. Oh, man. It's getting out of hand, chat. Little strawberry. God damn. That's Gina right there. What year was this? We could look it up. Okay, let's go. So who told her to flash her breast? She said no. Said a rapper said, I always wanted to fuck you. Garrigo said, so that rapper always had a crush on you, right? She said yes. How did you bring up Cabral? They asked if anyone else was into lifestyle. I said yes. Thought it could be a safe and confidential person. He said, so that was for the rapper and their partner, right? He said, how did they know to ask you? Maybe they picked up the energy or they heard that Sean and I was into the lifestyle. So you flew to Miami around the time of your birthday, right? She said yes. Somebody said the rapper might be, they said is Jay and Beyonce or Nip and Lauren. Who was Ye dating at the time? They said it might be, no, Nipsey had died by then, bro. When did Nipsey die? Yeah, Nipsey died in 2019. This is 2022, 2023. Okay? So it's not Nipsey. Okay. Garrigo says he set up a grandiose birthday for you, didn't he? Said, yeah. Were there candles on the walkway? Yeah, it was mad romantic. His heart was beating. Was your heart beating too? Seems rhetorical, but okay. Yeah. I was just about to say that. It was painted pink and silver. A 5-course dinner. That's exactly what I wanted for my lover. Garrigo says, was there ecstasy at the dinner? Nah, none. Afterwards, you took a pill. He took a pill. And Don came over, right? Yeah. 1-star island. You said you were willing to have sex with Don because of the birthday of the birthday party, correct? Give me 1 second, chat. You say you were down to have sex with Dawn because of the birthday party. She says yes, it was nice. So it looked like she would offer to do these hotel nights if she felt Diddy treated her right. Garrigo says, ain't this between you and Paul, Arthur, in which you ask, do you have plans for Valentine's Day? She said, right. Garrigo says, you wanted to see Paul as a person, right? She said, yes. You said after the Cassie lawsuit, you saw changes in Puff. She says, yes. You said Sean would write you and say, I'm single. I'm polyamorous. And that would hurt you, right? She said, yes. After the lawsuit, he went to saying, we are in a relationship. You're my girlfriend. And that meant a lot to you, right? It did. Garrigo says, when you saw a video of Combs laying hands on Cassie, did you feel sick? I did. Garrigo says, that wasn't a man you knew, right? Right. Sidebar. They come back. Garrigo says, you remained in contact with Mr. Combs after the video, though, right? Yeah. You stayed in Miami with him for a few days, then left, right? I did. He flew to LA in June with his kids, didn't he? Yeah. is it fair to see Mr. Combs posted about his road trip with his kids on social media? Yeah, he did. There's a photo of how you set up the house. Some set up by you, some set up by Jonathan. Remember, this is the freak off house setup. Yeah. Is this a big bottle of Vive Clico? Is that how you say it, Chad? Yeah. Garrigo says, and this photo right here on the patio, that's what it is, right? The patio? Yeah. And you were drinking that champagne, right? Champagne, right? Yeah. Garrigo says, it's 8:30. Looks kind of dark outside. There was tequila shots. That was off that Don Julio, that 1942. That Casa Azul, right? But there was no ecstasy at that time, right? Right. Didn't Jonathan bring the candles? Yeah. Okay. Let's play the video. They play the video. It's music and voice of Combs. Championship Boston Celtics. So it looked like it might be the night that the Boston Celtics won the championship. Let's go look at it. When did Boston Celtics win the championship? It's 2024. What day? June 17th. Yeah, June 17th. Half an hour later, y'all were fighting, right? Yeah. You testified. You called Diddy a PDF. Even though you know the bitch he was with wasn't underage, right? Right. And you push his head into the counter. Bang! I did. You never had a physical altercation with him before, right? I had not. How hard did you push him? Like hard, or medium hard, or soft hard? Pause. Yeah, medium hard. Okay. You threw a little candle at him, didn't you? Yeah. And when you say you lock the door, how'd you lock the door? Was it like a button? Yeah. So wait. So he didn't force a physical lock, but it was a button lock, right? Yeah. What was he saying? He said, I was crazy. There's a lot of yelling. Did you go in the closet? Yep. You take your working out hella serious, don't you? Yep. But you didn't put on an active wear, but it was rather a dress. Why? Because I could put it on easily. Okay, that line of question didn't make sense. After the altercation, you ran and you hid behind the wall. Where was your phone at this time? Back in the house. When you went back, did you ever see Mr. Combs? Yeah, he was out on the streets. Was this hours afterwards? Yup, it had been hours. You were angry and screaming, and you called him a PDF. She clarified. She said, I called him a monster. But when you did it this time, did he kick you again? No, he didn't kick me. You punched him in the back of the head. And he punched you? Yeah, he punched me twice. What they're kind of pointing out, like, yeah, they did have a domestic situation. But this is nothing that was sex trafficking. It was nothing that was sex trafficking, people. The voice is doing a lot better, chat. Thank you for your concern. We're waiting on some more tweets. Let me go check the donations here. We're having a sidebar real quick while we check the donations and, all right, we're on the King Akademiks page. Here we go. The Fifth House. Thank you for the 5. Oh, I could tell. This is one of our beautiful chat queens. Yo, chat, I'm so happy. And I've been meeting a lot of y'all. There's so many beautiful women that are chat queens. Y'all better not harass these women and ostracize them out of this community. I love my chat queens. Oh, she looks pretty. She looks really pretty. The fifth house. Thank you, girl. She says, Ak, I'm so proud of you for eating healthy today and drinking tea. I'm drinking some liquor on the side too, being honest, but thank you, and I'm glad you're proud of me. Thank you for that. She said, be good to yourself, my brother. Keep it up. The OG creator, thank you for the two, says, yo, produced by Ye at the end, says it all. You think that's Ye's greatest production? Holy. Rami Ortiz, thank you for the two. Good Times Jackson says, yo, this is Hot Rod from G Unit, by the way. Hot Rod, what's good, my brother? We might need your input on this, man. What's going on, Hot Rod? Y'all remember Hot Rod from G Unit? He's in the chat. Joshua Bendecore says, here we go. Fruits. We're on fruits today, okay? Good Times Jackson, thank you for the 10. He says, it's Ye. It's Ye. Me and Ye was messing around with the mutual chick. What the fuck? Wait, hold on now, nigga. Wait, what? Did this nigga just like volunteer that him and Kanye are Eskimo brothers? Good Times Jackson, you know you're doxing yourself, but whatever. Says Ye. Me and Ye was messing with a mutual chick. And she said Ye asked her if she knew anyone who could clap Kim's cheeks in front of him and sign an NDA. I was down, but Ye never locked it in. Nigga, he was not with Kim Kardashian. He was not with Kim Kardashian in 2023. When did they break up? You lying like a motherfucker. When did Kim Kardashian and Kanye break up? This is in 2021. Remember, this is in the middle of their thing, so it got to be 2020, late 2022, but I think it's 2023 or 2024. So you're lying. Good Times Jackson, you're lying. Captain D-Hard, pause. So we need to find out who the rapper was. This is wild. I'm not saying it can't be Ye, but it's definitely not with Kim. Oh, thank you for the 5. So Ak, your girl Lauren said the wrong name. Young Miami birthday is a couple days apart from 50 BM in February. It's not Gina. You heard what? When a player got too many women who born in the same month, can't make it special for all of them, huh? Young Miami birthday. Let's Google it. February 11th. Daphne Joy birthday. February 8th. Diddy can't clone himself. Can't clone himself. Now, you know Young Miami was going to be on Instagram talking hella shit if he not there for her. So what he probably would have said, Daphne, I'm going to give you a rain check. I'm going to do a big one for you. Or let's do your birthday early. Then I could leave to get to Young Miami because Young Miami was tolerating that shit. Rick Grimes, think of it too. He said, yo, Ak, y'all Jamaican dog. You know say you need some more tea. Brother, fuck with you. Marsalis Woods. He says Logic and Sean G was live together with a shout out, Ak. They gave a shout out. Appreciate both of them. Hype Exotic Worldwide says, yo, Big Ak, fuck the people that hate. Fuck the people that hate people like me. We need people like you. Been a chat nigga for over 6 years. You kept me here when I lost my grandmother. Thanks again. Those messages is why I've started to stream more consistently. I know I've helped you guys a lot in very dire times. I love you. Okay? Rest in peace to your grandmother. Okay? Lady Shan, she says, you are 50 baby moms. Diddy can't make you his wife. Is she dumb? There we go. Hype Exotic, this was earlier. It's like, grab some hot tea, man. Those of us that work 9 to 5s, we need you, bro. Ain't nothing bigger. Ain't nothing bigger, boss. Much love from ATL. Appreciate you. Poppy Chulo says, man, fuck that goddamn Toronto show. Give us a long stream, Ak. Let's do it, chat. AJ Pastrana says, yo, go, but only if you link with Drake after. Shit, I think Toronto Secret Service watching Drake right now. Or whatever police department is making sure he don't do no dumb shit. Okay, we read the rest of them. Ant Gaiman says, Ak, Ye been defending Diddy all year on social media. Wasn't Ye dropping that song about him and his cousin? Maybe it was a play to get in front of all of this. He's had trauma since he's been young. I'm going to be honest with you. I never seen Ye admit to the cuckery. Didn't he say he wanted to see, he had a fantasy of him and Drake fucking Kim? I'm like, what? Then he said in one song that he wants somebody to fuck his wife. He's been admitting to some of this cuckoldry that could be linked to what Diddy was into. We still don't know for sure if it's him. Let me get over to the Academy page. We're just reading some donations until we get some new updated tweets. They're probably going to break for lunch shortly. Then we'll get the people coming out of court giving us a detailed breakdown of what we probably missed. Andy Sama says, so she started the fight. Thank you for saying that. Tenny Garagos is basically mentioning, I know we're saying that Diddy put his hands on you, but you did put your hands on him first, right? That was kind of seen. Eddie Eightdoll, thank you for the 2. He just sent it in. He said it was Nipsey. You guys can figure out the date on this. He didn't know her around the time of Nipsey. Nipsey died in 2019. Nipsey passed away in 2019, people. Okay? So it can't be Nipsey. Miss R. Jensen, which, by the way, what it tells me, if there's 8 people in the room watching people fuck, and the rapper says, y'all wonder who else is into this type of shit. There's a underground community of many rappers or people in the industry that's into this. It's been well hidden. Aaron A, thank you for the 10, or the 5, I mean. Sincere Poppy, thank you for the 2. Says January 2024 was the Vegas trip. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. My boy, Sincere Poppy. I like when you guys do research with me. Kanye West, 2024, Las Vegas. Was he in Vegas in 2024? Let's see. They said, let's figure out the time. No, this was the end of 2024. No. So if you're saying January, let's try to figure out January. Kanye and his wife, Bianca, spotted at the Wynn. It's 47 degrees. Bianca was barefoot, wearing a bikini top. January 8th, 2024. Yo, give my man a gift this sub. We figured it out, gang. I think, listen. I didn't even know Ye was, he was with Bianca at that point. Yeah. It's Ye. Come on. Nah, that's crazy. But okay. Huh. I can't. So he was there on the 8th, but then we also see him there on the 12th of the next month too. He's throwing a concert in the middle of Vegas. Looked like he was doing a lot of stuff in Vegas, even though I think there was a rollout though for that album. A year ago, January 8th, they've been spotted in Vegas all week. They were spotted all week, chat. Okay. We're going to go 75% is probably Ye. With all due respect. With all due respect. Let's get to some more tweets, y'all. The judge says, let's break. So now they're at lunch. Somebody said, Swiss Beats and Alicia, the sex ring may be linked. Most hated gold, thank you for the 5. Says, Swiss Beats and Alicia, what about them? The sex ring may be linked to the boule. The sex worker did mention that during the cop interview. Chat, part 2 of this Ye interview going to be real interesting now. Part 2 of this interview with me and Ye is going to be real interesting now. It's going to be real interesting.
That works with Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos, the music companies, who represents the media and entertainment in the United States. Most of them, Mercedes does. Kenny Mercedes, which is Groomer Mercedes.
Perfect and perfect. Thank you for the 20. He said, I'm just contributing to that fruit fund. Come on now. Fruits. Come on now. I would say Fruitademics, but that don't sound too right. Sound gay, huh? Fruitademics don't sound too good. Don't sound too good. Don't sound too good. Don't sound too good.
Out of New York. Okay? So what they've been doing is they've been promoting a hate agenda against Trump. So people hate it. Okay? Because they...
We're going to get back to the part where he says, or he talks about the boule, which is supposed to be the black Illuminati. We did get some audio leaked. We got some audio leaked. Here we go. Wow. There's another mistrial on one of Harvey Weinstein trials? Didn't he have a mistrial before? The fuck is this? Oh, there was a plane that crashed. Here we go. This was a message. Remember, he called Jane Doe, Daphne Joy, his crack pipe. One in the chat if you know about them ones. You ever call a girl your crack pipe? Y'all never did that? Me neither. I don't know what Diddy was on. Let's hear the audio.
Hey, baby, we had a great time. Stay in the light. It's all good. Get your rest. You are the pipe. That's my new name for you, pipe. Or should I call you CP?
What?
But yeah, I want you to stay in the light. You know what I'm saying? We had a very, very good time together. Like so much fun. So much fun. Now go rest up. Get in your bag. You know what I'm saying? Got your contract. Find a nice little spot. Put your mind at.
Nigga said you got your contract. Holy shit. I've never seen a nigga this more excited. He just realized there's probably been a dozen niggas ran up in her guts. And he's calling her the crack pipe. This is after, I believe, the Turks trip, I believe. Yeah, they went to Turks early 2023. They came back and his new nickname for her is a crack pipe. Damn, Diddy had a way with nicknames, huh? You my crack pipe. I wonder who the fuck he called you my syringe. What the hell?
It's all good. Get your rest. You are the pipe. That's my new name for you, pipe. Or should I call you CP? But
I wonder who he used to call Perk 30.
Yeah, I want you to stay in the light. You know what I'm saying? We had a very, very good time together. Like so much fun. So much fun.
Damn, this nigga's excited.
Now go rest up. Get in your bag.
Sad when you gotta say go rest up. You done taken so many cocks. Rest up, baby girl.
You know what I'm saying? Got your contract. Find a nice little spot.
Might have been an all-star free call for the re-up in the contract.
Put your mind at ease. And, yeah, I had a great time. And I really, really want you to get some rest. I didn't know about you throwing up and all that. That's when I was like, hold up a second. All right, get some rest, baby. Love. So if you come in for 24 hours, yeah, you always wanted to set some up. So now you got the opportunity. So set some up for tomorrow night. That last vision we had, that was Don and ATL.
Oh, shit.
See you put it together, baby.
Damn. By the way, Trifecta Kush, thank you for the 5. It says, Ak, Cassie was wearing Yeezy merch when Diddy was beating her. Ye got the same logo tatted on his arm. Yeah, the 2016. Yeah, this is. Yeah, you're actually right. Yeah, yeah. What logo is this? This is some Ye shit though, right? And they said Ye got that tatted on his arm. Kanye West's arm tattoos. What's that symbol called? I seen it around the time with like. Yeah, this shit right here. Kanye West. It's called the Quad M. I'm gonna take your word for that. Yeah, Kanye. So he does have this. This is his Reddit. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, guys. Somebody said, you know, Jonathan already said Ross and Khaled are gay in the video. I do know that. Ruger Red, thank you for the 2 gifted subs. Appreciate you, my boy. Big Dog Pops says, W Mama Demics. Appreciate you. Somebody says, maybe Kanye's clear. He said, maybe Kanye's clear. Because Ye was spotted, supposedly, in LA on the 24th. If it happened on the 20th, so they said on the 23rd, Ye was in California. Can't be him. I mean, California is not that far from Vegas, but they're saying it appears that it wasn't Ye. I don't know. K Flock's attorney said, Big Ack, I need you to put someone in charge of Freaky Chat next week. I'm going on vacation to Colorado. There ain't nothing bigger, nigga. Do we need another mod in the academy? Let me know. Perfectly Imperfect, thank you for the 2. She says, stream is so fire. Green Band says, I'm in Toronto. Just bless me with the tickets. I'm going to go record Scissors BBL just for the chat. Tweez B says, hey, Ak, I'm tripping. Am I tripping or not? Thinking about the Diddy tapes and who's on them anymore. We only talking about Diddy's hosts. What about the other parties? Well, this is what they were arguing about. It seemed like Diddy wanted to name niggas. Diddy wanted to name niggas. Basically almost saying, Shorty, You were helping these other niggas do the same thing I was. So you trying to say they sex trafficking too? Okay. Ye was in the wind for Bianca's birthday. Ye was in the wind for Bianca's birthday. It was January 5th to the 7th. Do y'all remember? Ye sex worker for his wife's birthday. You never seen that? They exposed him for it. Look, Ye, sex worker, Kanye, what's that white girl name again? That white girl snitched on him. What's her name? Chat, what's that white girl? Oh, man. Big titties. What's her name? What's that white girl name? She snitched on him on a podcast. Chat, you know what I'm talking about. Come on now. She was with Adam 22 and them niggas. Little freak leak. Kanye, come on now, chat. Y'all fucking with me. Come on. It was. Come on. Somebody says Tion Tiny. No, it's not Yes Juice. Come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. No. Sky Bree. Sky Bree snitched on him. Kanye, Sky Bree. Look. Y'all remember this? They were on a podcast together. It was one of them little LA podcasts. Look. Right here. No. Shit. Sky Bree. Let me just look up Sky Bree. And they said he wanted to get Dread. Somebody named Dread. Look.
Wife Dread for Christmas.
Look.
He got his wife Dread for Christmas. That was his
He
Christmas.
probably honestly did.
That's
I feel like
so
they're
sweet.
into like the craziest kinky shit.
I sent them 5 girls. I'm happy
Did
to
you
say.
really?
Yeah. I'm happy to say.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
I swear, Liam, have I sent 5 people to Kanye?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't sign an NDA. I can say it.
Okay, pimp.
That's crazy.
I never got a thank
Wait,
you. He got his wife Dread for Christmas. No.
So you might have got Dread for Christmas.
Dread for Christmas. That was his
He
Christmas.
probably honestly.
Wife Dread for Christmas.
Wow.
No, he is very out in Indonesia and he's also born in Hawaii. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because otherwise I'll be sued. So I let it be, but they've been following me and they've had, Mark Garrow has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up as an extortionist. Like if I was extorting Sean for money. It's wrong. Basically what happened is Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross,
Yeah.
and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries. No worries.
Hamas supporter, okay? Basically, he's Arab, Palestinian, okay? The Ciroc agenda, okay, is basically binge drinking poured out on a youth. They promote binge drinking and drugs.
Gotcha.
The hip-hop agenda was supported, was laid out by Obama during his last presidencies purposely. That's why they had Tupac killed, because when they kill them, you gain fame. When people, your record sales go up, and then people listen to your lyrics and everything, and then you become famous, okay? That's how they do it, alright? Tupac's still alive. He's in Cuba. Basically, what happens is the following. The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to involve DEA. They move all the dope, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by DEA inside the United States. Okay, they move what's called high grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in their bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time. Alright, he calls it G-Jit, but it's liquid cocaine.
Alright.
How do I know?
He calls it what?
Alright, he calls it G-Jit, but it's liquid cocaine. It's not good. He drinks it all the time. Alright, he calls it G-Jit, but it's liquid cocaine.
Alright.
How do I know there's a conspiracy against Trump? Because it's in the Illuminati card deck. He should look at it for himself.
But let me bring you back to Thursday night, Friday morning.
Sure.
I mean, how did all of this? I think I better.
Give it to Mercedes, and they give it to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
His assassination is coming. Okay, because it's an agenda they perpetrate.
We'll get back to the event.
Hey, I got like 30 years ago.
Mother and father.
A message to the American public, a wake-up call, etc. So there's only there's select few of that run the country, okay? So if you, I know you may or may not, I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Okay. Yeah, Illuminati. Okay. They've made it in dance. Basically, what it means, illuminated.
I got you.
Okay. They do satanic ritual abuse, which is basically CIA mind programming techniques to their own family, kids, etc. They're in the group, and they bond that way. Okay, so they do sexual pedophilia. They do animal abuse, killing of animals, blood sacrifices, and everything in the Bohemian Grove. Okay, the Bohemian Grove, the Bushes go there. George C. and George, both of them are in the same agenda. They cousins with the Clintons. Okay, so is Donald Trump. He's also a distant cousin. So if you see, there's a direct correlation of the presence of the United States being bonded between family ties, okay?
Gotcha.
All these family ties wound up, go back to the same place, the royal family in England, okay?
I want to get to this part you talk about the boule.
Donald turned his back, okay? So they have a picture of Donald dead in agenda. That's why he's so famous, okay? I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist.
Here we go.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the boule. The boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay. I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist.
Okay.
Okay, you're my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay. She was just a servant, but she was she took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people.
Okay.
I had settlement with Sean. Okay. And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Law and Crimes real quick for what we missed in court.
this issue, as far as you know?
Here we go.
Snout like that.
Dangled off a balcony. With you, Rich. It's a great question.
Here we go. All right, it's going to load up now.
We have with us Law and Crime's in-court reporter Elizabeth Milner, who is back with us, going to be answering all of your questions before she has to jump back into the courtroom. She was there for all of the testimony today. She's been there for all the testimony for every day. Elizabeth, it's great to see you. So besides the questions like from El Spelunker, who says, will Elizabeth write a tell-all book after this? Or a comment from Tablet Lingua, who says, Elizabeth for president. Besides those great comments, so you already got one vote, 2 votes, you have my vote. Okay, so besides those, we had this super chat question from Richard Ezios, excuse me, and it says, can you please dive in and elaborate about this bombshell phone evidence that was filed June 9th by the prosecution that they're trying to bring in? Do you know what this is about, or what this could be about?
Yeah, so I think it kind of could possibly be about, as far as the prosecution goes, is that the government wanted to enter some note entries that Jane had made in her phone. This was after Cassie's lawsuit, and they wanted to bring this up under redirect. And so there was kind of some arguments about it this morning, but it seems like from the government's perspective, they really wanted to get in one particular, at least sentence from this voice note, or from this note in Jane's phone app, where Jane had expressed in December of 2023 that she felt manipulated and she felt obligated to be doing these hotel nights about 98% of the time. The government, in their argument this morning, was saying this kind of rebuts the cross-examination as far as Jane, as far as the questions that the defense was kind of posing to Jane as far as just her willingness to participate in these hotel nights. But according to the government, they want to use this particular sentence, at least from my understanding of it, just so that way they can kind of help rebut this under redirect. However, they should have possibly introduced this under direct, but I think given where the cross-examination has gone, that they were trying to introduce more exhibits as well too. But it seems like from their perspective that they just wanted that one little piece of sentence, because it seemed like the judge didn't want all of these exhibits to be put in under redirect. But the judge said that he'll reserve his ruling as to that one sentence. So we don't know if that sentence will be admitted, if the jury will hear this particular note yet, but I believe that is the answer to your question, and I hope I answered it well.
Okay, what about this? We got a question from Michaela, and this is really interesting because I can't get a sense of it either based on the reporting. Do we know why testimony was delayed today? I saw it was due to an unknown issue, but wanted to ask if you may have heard anything. I mean, this just came up again right before the break. It seems that the judge had even wanted, or the prosecution even wanted, Sean Combs to be a part of this meeting. That is, there was some issue that was discussed in the robing room. They have concerns. Do you have any idea what is going on in the judge's chambers?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I have no idea what's going on, and I think a lot of us have been kind of scrambling to figure out what exactly is happening, because it seems like from both sides they're being very tight-lipped about this. But from the defense's perspective, Sean Combs wasn't in the back for the conversations that were had in the robing room or the chambers room, and it wasn't being transcribed either, so he wasn't able to follow along. So from the defense's perspective, they wanted to make sure that their client was able to be a part of these discussions. But here's what we do know. And I'm going to wait for the ambulance to pass real quick. Okay, now we're good. But as far as just what we do...
So Elizabeth, it's super loud, super loud. I'll jump in. I'll jump in as we wait for this to happen, because it's, you're in downtown New York. Okay, so very rude. They're interrupting our show, by the way, but it sounds like it's an emergency, so there you go. Okay, back to you, Elizabeth. So now, talking about what happened with this issue, as far as you know.
Yeah, of course. So what we do know is that...
By the way, Verselli, thank you for the 10 gifted on Kick.
So the defense as well as the prosecution. But also, I think what the interesting part is this was a conversation between Jane's attorney, too. And so it was all kind of 3 different parties in the back in the robing room discussing this. And so court was delayed for a while this morning. It's been a really weird morning this morning. There was stuff going on before court happened. There was stuff going on once court started. And so it really kind of delayed the proceedings. I don't think the jury even sat down in the jury jury box until close to maybe 11 o'clock this morning. Now, mind you, court was supposed to start at 9 a.m. this morning, so it really was a significant delay, and a lot of us were kind of scrambling to figure out what was going on. A lot of rumors kind of swirling, so we don't know the full answer, and we were hoping to kind of get an answer about what possibly they were discussing before the lunch break, but it seemed like from both sides, the government and the defense, they kept it tight-lipped. The judge ordered a sidebar. Obviously, that white noise was playing in the background. It was super loud, and we were thinking, okay, after the sidebar is over, maybe they'll talk about it. And then they were like, okay, lunch break, everyone. And so then lunch break happened. So unfortunately, we still don't know the full scope of what was going on, but it seemed like a very important conversation that was being had because it took so long. I think Diddy really wanted to be a part of it because he seemed a little kind of agitated that he didn't know what was going on, and the defense attorneys were kind of shielding him, talking with him, whispering with him as they were kind of trying to figure out, I think, from their own end what was happening too.
Well, I'll tell you, the judge upheld this ruling where the identities of these people that were involved in a January 2024 incident, they will not be disclosed. This regarded a trip to Las Vegas where Sean Combs, and this group, including an unnamed rapper, they had apparently watched this kind of voyeuristic sex session, this woman who had sex with an entertainer that both she and Combs had used in the past. But the judge said that this is not among the alleged acts connected to the sex trafficking charges that Combs faces. So you can see why they made that ruling right there. Okay, this is a really, really important question about the jury. This is from Leg 7K. A question for Elizabeth Milner. Now that the cross-examination for Jane is coming to an end today, have you had any insights and thoughts on the jury's overall reaction to Jane?
I don't know how they're feeling about Jane necessarily. I think there were times maybe during, especially her cross-examination, because I think kind of the issue is we hear one thing under direct and you feel for her, and this kind of applies to other witnesses too, where you really kind of feel for them while they're under direct. But then when you kind of peel back the layers just a little bit more under cross-examination, you're kind of learning more of just the scope of everything. So whether it be the text messages, whether it be even her kind of willingness or alleged willingness to participate in these hotel nights and possibly being fine with them, you feel like you start to kind of learn a little bit more and a little bit deeper under the cross-examination. So, for example, when they were talking today about this unnamed rapper and his girlfriend/wife who was going to Vegas and Jane was going along with them, when the jury saw who this unnamed rapper was, because unfortunately we still aren't able to see the exhibits, I did see one juror in the second row kind of going, interesting. So I feel like as far as just where their heads are at, I don't really know. There are also times where like I'm seeing them kind of either looking away or I'm seeing them.
Now, remember, Diddy's lawyers want some of these names to be said. Now, you might be like, oh, Diddy, if he's on some, if I'm going down, everybody's going down with me. No, I think the strategy would be, hey, this is like a kind of a hidden community. It's not that we're doing anything wrong. We're just kinky. And maybe if you see another popular person that does this, maybe you guys would be like, well, I don't associate that guy with criminal activity. So if that guy is also into the same stuff as Diddy, I think that guy is innocent. I don't think that guy's a sex trafficker. So maybe Diddy's not a sex trafficker. I got to believe that's a thought.
Looking directly at their screens, but I'm kind of thinking, okay, are they wondering how much longer is this particular witness going to be on the stand? How much longer are they going to continue to hear what feels like the same thing over and over again? And they're probably wondering why there's been so many holdups today as far as court starting, court ending, and just the overall testimony too.
Yeah, they don't have as much information as we do, including how all of every piece of evidence fits into the overall case. Before I let you go, Elizabeth, we talked about the jurors. Let's talk about Diddy. ATX Stanley asks, question for Elizabeth, what has Diddy been doing while the witnesses testified? Does he stare at them and nod or shake his head or doodle on a notepad? What is he doing?
So from what I could see of him, because I do have a tiny bit of an obstructed view today, but what I have seen of him is he is listening to Jane's testimony. I do see him when he is looking, it's either looking at Mark Agnifilo, who's normally sitting right beside him, possibly chatting with Brian Steele at points, who sits on the other side of him, and then kind of passing notes like he normally does, or just looking at Tinny Garagos do her cross-examination of the witness. And so I haven't seen the nodding over at the jury like I've seen him do for other witnesses per se, but he seems to, as far as just the events that happened this morning. It seems like he's still kind of listening to all the testimony, and if there's anything that they want to be asking, Diddy's definitely writing down that in a note, passing it off to his attorney so that way they could pass it off to Timmy Garagos.
Elizabeth Milner, I know you have to jump back into court. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you later for our sidebar, our recap of the entire day's testimony and events. I'll catch you then. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, so I'm going to continue the conversation, and I'll get back to the question that came before about, has your opinion changed? But before we do that, Safa, this is really interesting. So the judge said that there is a certain audio recording from December 2023 that is not going to be allowed into evidence. And the prosecutor here had argued that by that time, so Cassie had already filed her lawsuit, that Combs was allegedly making a record, maybe a video record, an audio record.
We spoke about this too.
That he was trying to paint a certain narrative, that he was trying to craft a narrative about what was going on with Jane, and it's a self-serving false narrative in the recording. And if that's true, I'm surprised that he wouldn't allow it in, but also, doesn't that go into other allegations that we've heard before? I mean, Mia testified that D-Rock, Sean Combs' former bodyguard, had reached out to her after Cassie's lawsuit and was kind of trying to seem to suggest that, everything that was going on with Cassie and Sean, it was all normal. It was a typical relationship, right? And that he was trying to get Combs to reach out to her. And he's already been accused of trying to influence witnesses and reach out to them and tamper with testimony. I mean, look, doesn't that make up some of the racketeering charges that he faces, the racketeering charge that he faces? So I find it interesting that the judge wouldn't allow this in because it seems quite relevant to the case.
I would think that it would be relevant. There's certainly evidentiary reasons that the judge may not have allowed it in. I think that whatever the note or recording might indicate could, of course, be something that would reflect possible witness tampering. But at the end of the day, if the government had this item in their possession, I assume that they would have included it in a superseding indictment against Mr. Combs, and to date, they still have not. So that's one thing. Not only that, but with respect to the voice note, one of the things that comes to my mind is, was it completed so that he could turn that over to his attorneys?
Okay. Now, let's see if Ms. Collins on. If not, we're going to Unc. No video yet. We'll check Logic, then we're going to Unc. Hopefully Unc is live. Okay. I do want to watch this though. Give me a second.
Day 21 of the Diddy trial feature cross.
This is his end of day breakdown yesterday.
Examination of Jane, that is the girlfriend of Diddy, who was allegedly sex trafficked between 2021 and 24. That cross-examination was conducted by defense counsel Timmy Garagos. And she had started this cross-examination yesterday. We had 4 hours of testimony today. It was a little more heated than yesterday, and I felt the opinions of the room were really crystallizing one way or another on this particular trafficking issue. I'm Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. I am a New York litigator who's come down to the Southern District of New York, a district in which I have practiced in that very building. And I am here to try and break down for you the legal perspectives, how things are breaking down, how well is this. We've been watching this trial day by day. What is their takeaway? And today, we really saw that takeaway. When I'm covering the trial, I tend to focus on which side is doing the questioning. So I'm going to look at this from the perspective of the defense today. And I'll tell you, the defense had a pretty good day. They had a pretty good day in the following sense. When you're listening to Jane, if you're not familiar with who Jane is, meaning you haven't been following the Diddy saga for the last several years, and this is just a new person being thrust in front of you, which hopefully that's the situation for the jurors. She presents very credibly, very, very believable. The problem is that the story she presents really does not seem to equal up to sex trafficking. It seems as if she described the synopsis of what it is that she went through while she was his girlfriend. And that synopsis, she basically broke down. So I do a hotel freak off. Then a couple days later, I'm exhausted, battered, don't want to do it. Then a couple days later, I see that that he's giving me that type of trauma, that he's off with another girlfriend of his, buying her gifts, taking her to Turks and Caicos or some other restaurant. They're posting on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm getting all angry about it. So I start venting at him. He says, if you don't like it, you can leave. And then I do, and his people or he will start blowing up my phone until I finally respond. And then when I respond, he'll love bomb me and make me feel really special and really important, and how completely in love we are with each other. And I fall back under his wing, and then I go back for another freak off, and we repeat the entire cycle. This is awful. It's terrible. This is a nightmare. It really sounds terrible. But is it trafficking? Is it coercion? When she's describing this in this way, is it coercion? When she describes, and some of the stuff that came up on cross-examination today really displayed the fact that she keeps referring to Diddy as my partner, my lover, my partner, my lover, every time she talks about anything she did. I did this, I contacted this porn star at the direction of my lover. My partner asked me to reach out to Kabarov. My lover wanted to see me send out texts about these types of fantasies, so that's why I saw that. That's why I'm doing that here. One after another, over and over again. And let's say I believe her, which personally I do. I believe everything she's saying. But what that means is that when she's going through these freak-offs, the motivation is that it's for
Rest up, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Her lover, and that became crystal clear. That became crystal clear when she talks about Valentine's Day 2022, which she was basically telling him that she had a special surprise for him that he didn't even ask for, of having a hotel night, one of these freak-offs, with 2 men. Now, in context, a couple weeks earlier, she learned that he had a new girlfriend, much younger girlfriend. And it's very easy for someone to take away from this that she wanted to have Diddy for Valentine's Day. And she knew that this would work, which is a display of the fact that these hotel nights for her, unlike what we saw with Cassie, these display nights were a way, not just what she was, a job that she's supposed to do, but something that she wanted to do in order to bait the hook for Diddy to come around. And while that sounds horrible and terrible, and while she probably hated it, that doesn't make it not her choice. Contrast that, and this is what was an interesting thing, and why people are watching this who are big Diddy fans or Diddy haters. I think both sides are going to hate me for this. They're not going to like this report, because this really made clear to me today, at least my opinion, that he did not traffic Jane, but that he very much trafficked Cassie. Because the stark contrast between Cassie's story and Jane is this. With Cassie, we have these incidents where she's blackmailed, where she's threatened, where her boyfriend is chased off, where he's flying into rage and getting physical, laying hands on her, punching her in the middle of freak-offs, or blackmailing with, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ruin your
Wow, this is definitely opposite of what I said. I thought more of the money and transactional portion of it would mean Jane, for better or for worse, was closer to be a trafficking victim. Logic disagrees. I'm glad he's giving a different perspective. He's in court.
Parents' lives. I'm going to release this to the world. Everyone's going to see these videos, showing her the video on a commercial flight, keeping it running for 5 hours on a commercial flight for anyone who's walking by just to see it, and and documenting that there were threats, sending emails to her family, hey mom, heads up, this is what's been going on, and these are threats I'm facing. That's a woman we can document that the night that she's threatened, she goes and engages in a freak-off. That does not sound like free choice. In fact, quite the contrary. It shows mens rea from Diddy. That he knows that the reason she's doing this is because she feels threatened. And once you have that mens rea from him, once you have her acting under that type of duress, that's the force we're talking about under 18 U.S.C. 1591. And that's why I think he deserves to be convicted from what we've seen so far. The defense still needs to present their case in chief, but that's why he needs to be convicted for trafficking Cassie. And all of those critical elements seem missing with Jane. Yeah, we had one incident where he was violent, and that's inexcusable and gross and disgusting. But I also don't, we have no evidence that the violence that he performed that night was actually what led to her engaging a freak off that night. Because we also heard about how he was angry that he suspected that she was meeting with a porn star behind his back. So there's violence, and there's, he's.
By the way, I agree. Like when I said that, I feel like Jane was more of someone who fit the charges more, not more of a victim, just fit the charges. A lot of y'all disagreed, so I want to give y'all the credit. Right?
Acting like a monster, which that's what Diddy does. He is a monster, but is it this crime? Is it trafficking? In order to trafficking, he has to be forcing her to engage in this sexual encounter. And I question whether even that encounter that night was because she was afraid of violence, which seemed like the violence was over. But that perhaps it's arguable that her motivation was that she felt sad that she disappointed him by her conduct with Anton outside of Diddy's presence. And if that's the case, she's trying to make amends by doing something nice for her lover. And as terrible and awful and a ridiculous, stupid decision that it is by her, and how whatever big a-hole you want to call him, that's not forcing her into this sexual encounter, and that's not 18 U.S.C., so we don't have 18 U.S.C. 1591. So I believe Jane. I believe her testimony. I think she's highly credible. Other folks who are watching this don't believe her. They know the background, the history. They say, she's chasing after the money, and that's what Tenny wanted us to believe from much of her testimony today. And she denies it. She said everything she was doing was to try and get more quality love from Diddy. I believe her. And even believing her, I still don't think that that's trafficking. I think he's a monster. I think maybe it sounds like domestic violence. Sounds like he's a terrible human being. It's just not 18 U.S.C. 1591. But it really crystallized for me how it is clear that the way he treated Cassie was forcing her to engage in those encounters. And that's why my conclusion is that so far, before we have any defense, he's going to have a tough time convincing me that he's not guilty of sex trafficking Cassie, but that he is guilty of trafficking. He's innocent of trafficking Jane. That's my breakdown. If this type of thing is your deal,
Okay. Uncle's live.
Losing everything and going to prison, man, was like the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Everybody changed up, right? And then the feds came with the search warrant and raided my office. And when they let me know that they had already been following me for 6 months, that also let me know, Monica, I see you, baby. Thank you for that super chat. That they had already met with all of the people that they had gotten to flip against me and testify against me if I took my case to trial. I didn't take my case to trial because I knew I was busted. Because the undercover agent, it was a black girl undercover agent, told me she went to a historically black college, but she worked for the FBI, and she wore a camera-on coat, and she wore a microphone, and she filmed me and her's whole interaction of doing her taxes. And when me and my lawyer went to meet with the feds,
all right, cool.
Pulled up to like $450,000. Now, focus on what you need to feel better. Let's figure out how we can help you feel better. Let's focus on the solution. Puffy texts her on 1227. So what's the solution? I don't want to fight. How do we move on? Jane Doe texts him back.
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freak-offs. And Cassie, you feel me, she was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her well. This is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freak-offs. And Diddy said, oh no, you're not going to leave the freak-offs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude, bust a nut, allegedly. then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples. That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked. I'm surprised there was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad. It was no baby oil on. Hey man, I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably like gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because I want to be very, very honest about everything, like my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But like, is it sex trafficking though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial. And I'm gonna be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having free calls with. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, Act was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And what Act said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent, or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Act News, and I'm out.